Let's get active today, man. Hopefully, everyone's having a blessed one today. Off to a good start. All that stuff, man. Setting the week right, man. Setting the week right. Let's get active. Let's get after it. So, let everybody build in. Y'all know how they do. Let the beat build. We're gonna have some fun, do some draft talk today. Um, yeah, we're gonna do what we usually do, man. Salute to everybody out there in the community, out there cooking, doing what we do best, man. So I'm just vibing here on a Monday morning, sitting here chilling, doing some work, and getting some stuff ready, man. And yeah, we're gonna sit here and chat, man. So salute to everybody out there. My dog Ty, what's going on with you, big dog, man? Hopefully you're having a good one. Hoping you're having a blessed one, bro. Um, and yeah, what's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up, bro? What's going on, you whole CFO gang in the building, man? Now, I'm gonna let y'all know something. I don't know what the hell's going on with my computer. I cannot upload videos on my computer. I don't know what's going on. So I've been back and forth with Google Fiber all morning. Like that video I posted yesterday or the day before, it took almost like 18 hours to load. I uploaded that video Saturday, the mock draft one. Check that out. I uploaded that video on Saturday. It went through like yesterday, man. So my internet speed is completely jacked right now. So they're sending me all brand new equipment, but they said it won't be here till like Thursday or something like that. So we're gonna get it how we live, man. We're gonna stream on our phone. So I know a lot of you guys have been asking about the Walter Nolan film. I have it cut up, but I can't upload it. I'm also going to do Kendall Paul's film because I don't think I ever dropped that. So salute to KP, I'm gonna drop his film. So I have some film sessions cut up, but with this upload speed, man, y'all might get this shit after the draft. So I ain't even gonna, you know what I'm saying? So until I get my internet fixed, we just gonna do it the old fashioned way, go live on the phone, talk on the phone, do it that way, man. But hopefully everyone's having a good Monday. Being active, y'all. I'm in good spirits, man. I don't want to say changed, but I feel inspired, man. I feel like for me personally, it's a good place to be. Mentally, spiritually, physically, family wise, having my family here this weekend. My mom's was here, my had all my kids here finally once again. And that's the little stuff I used to take for granted, y'all. And, I don't take it for granted anymore. So just being out, this past weekend with, my entire family together, just laughing, joking, what I'm saying, with my mom and my kids and my wife. And, what I'm saying, like it just felt good and put me at place, right? Because you guys know my daughter, she's off to college. Well, she came back from college, but my oldest son, he's getting ready to gear up and graduate. So he's going to be going to, so those times where you get to have like your family all together, it changes a lot, So for me, man, I'm extremely appreciative of that. I had a blast this past weekend. We went out to eat, did some other stuff, and just vibed out a little bit, man. So definitely embrace time with your family. Never take it for granted. Salute to my dog DMV. I know he's going through a lot with his uncle. He kind of just, went live earlier and kind of talked about that, man. So I never take that time for granted anymore, especially the older that you get, man. Like, I tell people all the time, like, even so, I know Mama Tuck, like, she be bugging me about some stuff, right? She'll be bugging me throughout the course of the day because she's retired, right? But I don't give a damn what's going on. When my mama calls, I'm picking up to hear her voice. You see what I'm saying? Now, it might be quick, what I'm saying, if I'm working or something, but whenever my mama calls, uncles call, aunties call, family call, best friends call, man, I stop what I'm doing to hear their voice, man, because I never want to take that for granted. Um, Especially these days and ages, man. So extremely excited, have my family, like I said, man. Good spirits. I'm grinding, man. I was in the gym early, man. I am about to try to get shredded to the bone, man. I'm trying to get shredded to the bone, get jacked, build muscle, man. And really lock in from my physical aspect, but also my mental aspect. Jeremy Rutherford, thanks for the $2 super chat. What is the chance that we trade back? I think the trade back opportunity is extremely high. I think it's extremely high. Now, how far will we trade back? I don't know. But think about this, right? We traded back last year. Micah year, we traded back. Tyler Smith was a stick and pick, right? Mozzie was a stick and pick. So the Dallas Cowboys trading back, it's not out of the ordinary, right? Because I feel like if, especially with this draft class, and we talked about it ad nauseum, with the cluster that the prospects can be, if there's not a guy that really jumps off of your board and it's kind of as a group of guys, you can definitely consider the trade back, get some additional value, and get more picks. Because with the holes that we have in this roster, and yes, we do have holes in this roster, y'all. The more picks, the better, right? And it just increases your opportunity. So I think Rome did a video on this yesterday. I'm not sure, but it's like, what if Tet and Golden are gone, right? What if Tet and Golden are go? Kind of like we did in the Micah draft, right? We all were talking about J.C. Horn and Pat Surtain and J.C. Horn and Pat Surtain. We need a corner. We need a corner, right? And they both got wiped out. The Cowboys were kind of sitting there like, right? And so they were able to kind of go out there, move back, even though they did it with the ops and the Philadelphia Eagles. And if we're being honest, they probably got top 3 players in that draft. I mean, if you had a redo, I mean, you'll probably consider Jamar Chase maybe number 1, Micah Parsons number 2, whatever flavor ice cream. But if you go back to that draft class, they were able to trade back and get arguably the number 1 pick, in that class. So, phenomenal move by the Dallas Cowboys, with that. So trade back is definitely in consideration, especially when we kind of go to the mocks, man. My dog Angry in the building's going on you, dog. Good morning. Cowboys, this and J Tuck. Thank you for stopping by the live yesterday, last night, man. Anytime, bro. Like, that's what I always do, man. Because, as much as I'm a content creator, I watch other content creators as well. When I get some free time or, because a lot of times, I don't watch a lot of TV. I'm on YouTube a lot, I am a YouTube addict. I really don't have cable TV. I watch YouTube. I study YouTube. A lot of the stuff I'm watching on YouTube is trading stuff, market strategies. I watch that nonstop until my wife's watch something else. So I'm watching a lot of YouTube stuff, trading strategies, but I'm also watching Cowboys content creators, seeing what the family's talking about, right? So, if I ever see somebody, they live, I definitely pop in, but I'm a YouTube addict. I had YouTube on here before I got live, So I'll sit there and watch YouTube all day long. Aggressive, our safest pick at 12 for you, Tuck. If we're picking for the Cowboys, who would it be? So I feel like, of course, the safest pick, if it happens, if he falls there, which I don't think he is, right? Just getting y'all prepared for next week, would be Ashton Jeanty. I feel like if Ashton Jeanty was to fall to us at 12, you can pick that pick and lose 0 sleep, right? Lose 0 sleep when it comes to Ashton Jeanty. I feel like a risky pick at 12 could be if you were to go with one of these offensive linemen, right? I feel like it depends on the position. So I know a lot of people's been arguing about Tyler Booker out of Alabama. Yes, I know Booker is out of Alabama. I was joking the other day on Twitter that he's out of Oklahoma because Tyler Smith was Oklahoma, Tulsa. Then you had Tyler Guyton, who was Oklahoma. So I was like, Cowboys just want to draft someone named Tyler out of Oklahoma. He's not from Oklahoma. He's from I know that, dummy. I'm just joking, right? Can't joke, right? But Tyler Booker out of Alabama, I feel like it could be opportunity because once again, when you go with the offensive lineman, we don't have their insurance policy. I just don't think that we have insurance policies. Now, guard, you do. Tackle, you really don't have an insurance policy. So, me personally, I think Tyler Booker is a phenomenal. He has upside ability. The same thing with Damon Mimbu, the guard / tackle out of Missouri. So it's not like I don't like these players, but it's just for us, what I'm trying to do. If you're in win now mode, right? If you're trying to, I'm going to say, well, funny you said that too, Jack. I was going to drop the Walter Nolan film today. Like I said, my computer just says, nah, not today, Tuck. But Shamar Stewart, that would be one where I'm like, oh, shit. I don't know. That Shamar Stewart would give me the Luke Schoonmaker face, where I'm just like, now, of course, what will happen if we draft Shamar Stewart? There'll be a large percentage of the community saying, Tuck, just be positive, just give it a chance, right? But Shamar Stewart would be a head scratcher for me. Walter Nolan, I can see it. I would understand it, but still, it would kind of just be, Yeah. Because, I mean, the one thing about Walter Nolan, he can cause interior pressure and cause havoc, but that's supposed to be Osa's job. That's what we just paid Osa for. You see what I'm saying? So, like I said, we'll get to the Walter Nolan film. I mean, I would understand it because you want more defensive interior help, right? But I feel like you can go get that day 2 or day 3, maybe not at the same clip you can get from Walter Nolan, but that's Osa's job. That's why you just paid Osa all that big money. You know what I'm saying? Um, so yeah. Why are the Cowboys so afraid of LB3? Stacy, I don't think it's just the Cowboys. I think a lot of NFL teams are for whatever reason, and I've tried to figure it out. At this point, we're a week away from the draft, and I still have nothing concrete. Now, I know Clarence Hill had came and said something about, scouts were saying like he doesn't have leadership, right? Like, they were scouting Missouri's practice and he wasn't at the front of the line and, stuff like that. But who cares, bro? On game day, he was wired up, man. He was wired up to the top, you know what I'm saying? Top capacity, bro. And he loved Missouri because he went and stayed in his home state when it comes to University of Missouri because he's from St. Louis. So the Luther Burden thing is a very interesting conversation because I really haven't seen anything definitive when I was like, okay, he's trouble. Now I know what people will say. I think people will say, oh, he reminds me of Kadarius Toney. But you guys know I scouted Kadarius Toney out of Florida because he played next to Kyle Pitts. He is a far better player than Kadarius Toney. Like, he is a far better player. So unless there's something in the background, in the shadows that we don't know about Luther Burden, I really don't understand the massive amount of hate. You know what I'm saying? Like, the way that they're acting about this kid is like, he's multiple gun charges and even with that, right? Even with the talent alone, think about Jalen Carter. He was going through a whole situation, went to the combine, didn't really work out. People were saying he was out of shape, didn't have the best pro day, but the talent was still there. I feel like when it comes to Luther Burden, it's nothing too crazy that would just scare me where I'm like, he is not touchable, especially as a wide receiver too in Dallas. I mean, we brought him in as a 30 visit. So I don't know if it's smoke and mirrors when it comes to Luther Burden, but for some weird reason, the draft community is out on LB, and it just doesn't make sense to me. Now, me personally, I'm not. If we took him at 12, I would lose zero sleep. I said, let's go. Let's strap in. Let's get ready for day 2. I'm good, right? But there's a lot of weirdness when it comes to Luther Burden that I really don't understand. Let's see here. So y'all remember Amari Cooper, right? Remember Amari Cooper had this weird situation where, remember there was something about, he said he was hacked. And I don't know, I'm not sure if Coop ever spoke on this, but you remember when Coop was at Alabama and he was calling the fans like racist online and he went off on the entire fan base of Alabama. Now, I don't know if that was Coop or he was hacked, you know what I'm saying? But it's like sometimes this is like little stupid stuff that gears you up for the draft that people get a little skeptical about, And I don't know if it's fact or fiction, bro, but like I said, at the end of the day, Luther Burden, he jumps off the screen film-wise. And if you go to the past 2 years, it was there. Going into college football, every scout had him as their number one prospect overall. With Travis Hunter, Abdul Carter, everybody. So what really changed? I don't know, man. My dog Lou takes in the building. What's going on with you, dog? So we'll see. 2 serious receiving threats, serious rushing threats, and Dak Prescott could be a cheat code. I mean, I would love Ratio, bro, to help Dak out. I know Dak's saying he's healthy off the hamstring. He also talked about Jalen Tolbert and how he feels like Jalen Tolbert is a leader. I'm like, bro, like, but, I would like Dak to have weapons. You know what I'm saying? I would like Dak to have weapons because I was going to do a video on this, y'all. I know some fans don't want to hear this, right? And this is not being negative, Tuck. This is just being real, Tuck. If you want the chance for the Dallas Cowboys to win a championship this year with a rookie head coach, our 3rd defensive coordinator in 3 years, another lethargic offseason and free agency acquisition, a bunch of $5 parlay players, right? You are going to need Dak Prescott to play at an MVP level again. You just are. Like, you are going to need Dak Prescott to play at an MVP level to be the Instagram filter for all the ugliness that's happened at this offseason. You know what I'm saying? So, if order for Dak Prescott to be at an MVP level, you have to go get him weapons, y'all. You have to go get them. Think about it when Dak played his best, not last year, but the year prior, right? You had CeeDee Lamb, you had Jake Ferguson was ascending, right? You also had Brandon Cooks, who was healthy. You had Tony Pollard at the time who could run the ball. You know what I'm saying? So you had some weapons around Dak Prescott that could really make this offense go. Last year, we didn't have that. It was Dak, CD, or bust. And I feel like the Dallas Cowboys, they have to, y'all. I would be shocked if we're sitting there on draft day and the very first pick is a defensive pick. I would be shocked, y'all. It depends on who it is. Depends on who it is, right? Even if it's like a Jalen Walker, Walter Nolan, I'm trying to think who else could possibly consider it. I mean, Jahad Campbell, I would probably lose my shit. Shamar Stewart. If it's even if it's Will Johnson, if it's a Will Johnson or a Barron, like a Jahdae Barron, I would still probably just be like, what the hell is going on? Because we have neglected the offensive side of the ball. Even Brian Schottenheimer has come out and said, you probably would think I'm a Dallas or defensive-minded coach the way we attack free agency, And I've been telling Matt, like, hey, it's almost my turn. So eventually they're gonna have to go offense to fill some of these holes. The offensive line hole has to be filled in the draft, right? The running back hole. And even if you want to call it that, because I'll talk about that here in a second. The running back hole has to be filled in the draft. The wide receiver hole has to be filled in the draft, right? So I feel like the Dallas Cowboys pick at 12 has to be offense. Now, what position, I do not know. But if I had to go with my gut, y'all, we're probably going to go offense. Now, I've been kind of talking about this in the back channels, man. And you guys know I've been very high on Amari and Hampton, right? But here's where it stops getting fun. This is where, I'm saying? Like, we're like 10 days away or something like that from the NFL draft. Here's where it stops getting fun. And we have to start talking like not what we would do, but what the Cowboys would do. And I pose this question to you guys. I love Amari Hampton. I think he's going to be a stud at the NFL level. But what I feel like when it comes to the Cowboys, what their thought process is going to be, they are going to feel like they already have an Amari Hampton on the roster. That is why me personally, now if Mel is right, I would hope that he's right? But I feel like the Dallas Cowboys already think that they have an Amari Hampton on their roster, and KB just nailed it right on the head with Javonte Williams. I feel like they're going to feel like Javonte Williams can be their Amari Hampton. So if they're going to go with another running back, they probably want something that's different from Javonte. You see what I'm saying? Because Javonte Williams, North Carolina, and they kind of have a similar build, right? So I feel like they're not going to want Javonte and a player like Javonte with the Javonte traits, because they're going to go with Javonte. It's going to be someone to counter what Javonte does, and you want to toss in Miles Sanders, okay, cool, but you know what I'm saying? But it has to be someone to kind of counteract what he does. And yeah, Cade's on fire right now. I feel like it could be like a Travion Henderson, where that's your goner. You know what I'm saying? Your burner, right? So it could be those situations. Now, I hope I'm wrong. Like, if they went to Amari Hampton at 12, I'm going to throw a party out there in Wisconsin. I'm not even sure if you can even party in Wisconsin. Where do people party at in Green Bay? I don't know. But I'm going to find some spot in Green Bay and throw a party out there if we drafted Amari Hampton, but putting my Dallas Cowboys hat on, they feel like they already have it. They're gonna feel like they already have it. I would hate their football minds. I mean, I just think that's what they're gonna do, y'all. I feel like they are going to feel like, and I'm putting my Stephen Jones hat on. They feel like they're good enough because they just got Sadiqa Charles, not my sis, right? They got Sadiqa Charles. They got Brock Hoffman. So I feel like they feel like they got enough at guard. I feel like they are going to think that, hey, they got a running back, right? They got a decent running back that has still upside potential. I like Javonte Williams. He just went for the injuries and stuff. So he has some potential, right? Still young, has some growth potential. So they're good there. They have a bunch of ex-wide receivers, right? And your Mingos, your Toberts, your Brooks. I feel like they have the ex guys, right? I feel like the one position that they feel like they don't have is the Brandon Cooks replacement, right? Kind of being your field, your ZY receiver. So if you put me on the spot, gun to the head, bang, right? If I had to pick a player that I think the Cowboys are really going to circle if he's there, I think it's Matthew Golden, y'all. I just think it feels Matthew Golden-ish to me. If you're going to go with because I feel like when it comes to Tet, one, he's probably not going to be there. I still think Tet's going to be the first one off the board, right? But he has a big body, big catch radius. I feel like they're going to give Mingo that chance, Jalen Tolbert that chance. Y'all might not want to, like, this is not Jay Tuck the Wizard talking. This is Will McClay and the Cowboys talking. I know it's not sexy no more. This is when you know what I'm saying? This is when it kind of dies down a little bit. But I feel like they already have their boundary wide receiver, right? I think that Golden might be a guy that the Cowboys will have heavily circled, right? Now, if Golden's gone, you have Tet gone, then the conversation comes through tradeback or Mecca, right? I don't think Burton's in play. He just doesn't fit our corporate, you know what I'm saying, mentality. But I would say it would probably be Golden or probably a trade back to get a Mecca to be that wide receiver to pick there, right? What made Golden jump boards the combine, bro? The 4.2, the 4.2 really just that was it. You know what I'm saying? So people like speed. Me personally, my biggest thing when it comes to Golden, it was the production he did at the University of Houston wasn't the same at Texas, right? And then you think about when you play in Texas offense, bro, it's star-studded. I mean, you did have, Bond over there, but he got some issues going on. You had Gunner, you had, what I'm saying, all these different running backs they had. You had Art. So there were so many different pieces, foundation at the University of Texas. Like, it was kind of easy to kind of adapt, right? But I still think that one, good routes, right? He's a good route runner. He is where he's supposed to be. He does have speed to be able to stretch you over the top, right? Texas kids, you can kind of bring in that whole Texas sales pitch, right? And then I think that him and Dak Prescott will really be in sync. I think that Matthew Golden would probably be my circle pick for 12. And me personally, I wouldn't be mad at it. I wouldn't be mad at it at all. I understand it, right? But once again, this is a situation we're going into the draft hungry. You know what I'm saying? Going into the draft hungry. But I feel like not Matthew Burton. I'm getting all confused. Matthew Golden, draft fatigue, right? I feel like Matthew Golden, it wouldn't be a reach, because once again, we are going for a wide receiver too. And yeah, Caleb, that's the thing that I love the most about Matthew Golden. When the lights got big, it was time to go. You know what I'm saying? And that goes a long way for me personally, especially being a guy who the Dallas Cowboys analyst, content creator, fan, right? I want guys that can step up and play big in big moments. I'm saying play big in big moments, and Matthew Golden has proved that. Now, you add a guy who's able to play big in big moments. He doesn't have to be the big of the biggest. No, we already got the big dog over here in 88, right? You just got to be another big dog alongside him, right? Which I think Matthew Golden can if he's getting maybe the second best corner or maybe the third best corner on him, depending on how you scheme it, depending on how you scheme it. My dog CFT in the building, you and DMV killing it, bro. I'm at work ready to turn the camera on. Hey, bro, like I said, we just going live, bro. I'm having some computer issues, but we going to keep pushing the community forward, man. It's on us, man, to lead this charge, bro. So that's my dog CFT in the building. Facts, I would love Golden. He's a dog and got hard too. Yeah. Yeah, 1000%. So I'm not mad at it. The thing that worries me about Golden and even Tet is just with this draft class, y'all, expect the unexpected. Expect the unexpected. There's going to be some situation where we're sitting back thinking, oh shit, what the hell just happened? Wait, who? No, whoa. No, oh God, what? Who is that? Oh, right. What, Shamar? They took Shamar Stewart at 7? Like, God, what the? Hold on. You know what I'm saying? James Pierce at 10. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be some craziness happen. And once that craziness happens, it sends everything in a frenzy. I remember it was the Mozzie draft, right, in Kansas City, where the Seahawks took Witherspoon. Like the draft was kind of going like CJ Stroud, Will Anderson, saying Bryce Young. Everything was going according to plan. And then it was like a Devon Witherspoon grenade just got tossed in there. Blew shit up, right? Then you had the Eagles get Jalen Carter, and then you had the Lions grab, Gibbs, right? And then turned around and drafted Camp. Like, so all this shit just got blown up and people just started grabbing stuff. You see what I'm saying? I feel like that is going to be a situation that's going to happen in this year's draft where someone's going to toss that random ass grenade and we have to sit back and say, here we go. You know what I'm saying? Here we go. Damn, I didn't see Tyler Warren going at 8 or some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? So what do you think about Will Johnson at 12? I wouldn't mind it. I know some people aren't a Will Johnson fan, and I know that he hasn't ran yet. I know he had the hamstring injury. I like Will Johnson. I feel like he is a pure corner. But my question would be is, where is he going to play? So are you going to put him on the outside, which you probably have to, slide DaRon Bland in? I know the Cowboys are talking about Diggs' return possibly, so I'm not sure of that timeline. So, okay, how many times are you going to come out there with 3 corners, right, versus 3 safeties? So are you going to get the value for a Will Johnson at 12, or would he be a guy that you bring in now and he is a stash for moving on from DaRon Bland, because I don't think you can pay Diggs and DaRon Bland and pay Micah. So it could be a younger stash. Now, me personally, would I go Will Johnson at 12? No, because I feel like you can get just as good quality corners in the second round, whether that's a Darian Porter or a Harrison or a Quincy Riley, or the list goes on and on. So I wouldn't reach too heavy at 12. Like the guy that I want at 12, I feel like whoever we pick should be an instant upgrade over whatever we have at that position like now. It shouldn't be like, okay, well, we brought this guy in and he can kind of compete for his position and maybe, no. Right, at 12, you're on the field, you're good to go, right? So I feel like Matthew Golden, as much as I like Jalen Tolbert, right, that's my dog, Matthew Golden, instant upgrade, ain't nothing to talk about. Let's get things rolling. You see what I'm saying? Ashton Genty at 12, instant upgrade. Let's get shit rolling, right? Tet over Mingo, boom, instant upgrade. Let's just get shit rolling. Like I'm saying, like it shouldn't be a conversation where me and Angry or me and Lou are saying, well, let's slow play this. Let's see if Tet can take Jonathan Mingo's job. Absolutely not. It should be he hit a home run. You know what I'm saying? Like if we just hit a home run, like it is what it is. He's the man. Let's go, right? But if you draft a tackle, left tackle, we might have the conversation. Like let's say the Cowboys went with like a Simmons, right? At left tackle. Well, what happens if Tyler Guyton emerges after a whole offseason with Duke at left tackle? right? Then we're having a conversation. Well, I mean, Tyler Guyton's had a strong camp, but Simmons was like, so I don't want to have all that shit, bro. I want to have instant impact, right? I'm in, as crazy as it sounds, as delusional as it sounds, and it probably isn't realistic. As much as I hate how the Cowboys have handled this offseason, y'all know me. I am still in win now mode, bro. I'm in win now mode. The Cowboys ain't giving me shit to work with, but I'm gonna try to figure it out. And the one thing I do have to work with is this draft. After the draft, y'all ain't gonna see me say shit. It just is what it is. We'll get some rotational development guys, but there's a chance for me to try to lift back up this window that the NFC East is shutting on my hands. It has to be in this draft. It has to be in the draft, or it's a wrap, right? So for me, that's why I'm all impact guys. I need impact guys, right? This NFC East window is shutting on my hands, but a Genty would be like putting a stick prop under it. You know what I'm saying? All right, cool. You know what I'm saying? And then if you were to turn around and let's say get a Luther Bird in the second alongside with Genty, okay, now we're lifting this window back up. You know what I'm saying? Hello, let's get some air up in this bitch. You see what I'm saying? But as of right now, bro, my hand is squished with this window in the NFC East. And I can't even lift it off. I need some of y'all to come help lift or something, bro, because this thing is cutting my circulation. You see what I'm saying? Now, Lord forbid, because if my dog Rio is right, they're talking about, the Commanders are extremely high on Murray and Hampton. Well, damn, bro, cutting the circulation. Talking about the Eagles could possibly trade for TJ Watt, bro. Come on. Jerry, Steven, I need y'all to lift, bro. Get this window off my hand. I'm going to have to cut it off. So this is my only hope, y'all. This is y'all only hope. We have to at least walk away with 3 players out of this draft. We're thinking, we killed this shit. We cannot, not anymore. We cannot go into this draft and come out of it thinking, we got some guys. Let's just pop a opioid, right? And to see how it works out. No, we can't do that. Not with, nah. We can't be, just let it work out. If we get a player and y'all are telling me, well, let's just see how it works, Tuck, then we messed up. It's just, Tuck, just give it time and let's just see how it works. If we come out of this draft with the first 2 to 3 players in the top 3 rounds and y'all are saying, well, let's just give it a chance and see how it works, it's a wrap, bro. It is a wrap. My dog JC, what's going on with you, dog? This draft is critical. It's extremely critical because, once again, we didn't do anything. Now, some people will say, we moved different and we did. To each his own, right? Your opinion is your opinion. What you sell your community, what you sell. I'm not saying the Cowboys moved different because they actually got somebody earlier, right? Now, I do like Javonte Williams. I like the signing. I like bringing Fowler back, even though we should have never got rid of Fowler in the first place. I do like the Joe Milton trade, right? And I do think Solomon Thomas can give you some upside potential, right? But it's nothing to get me banging on my chest like King Kong when it comes to this offseason. Because we lost to Chauncey Golston. We lost to Zach Martin. We lost to DeMarcus Lawrence. We lost to Jay Lou. And I don't feel like the guys that we lost are a step above. I don't feel like Kyer Elam, even though I liked him out of Florida, is a step above Jay Lou. I don't feel like Peyton Turner or, probably be Solomon Thomas is pretty much a step above, step above Chauncey. I don't feel like Jack Sanborn is a step above Eric Kendricks. You see what I'm saying? So we lost some guys, but we haven't improved them. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want the improvement. And I just don't feel like the improvement. So the improvement is going to have to come from the draft, y'all. Will McClay got to be on go. I don't need Will McClay. You just got your brand new deal. Will McClay, you won your battle getting Mike McCarthy up on there. They picked you over Mike McCarthy, bro. You need to roll up your sleeves and get to work. I don't want to hear about, well, hey, man, we were able to get Marcus Yarns is an undrafted free agent. I'm not trying to hear that shit, Will. Will, you my dog. You got paid. Roll up the sleeves. I'm not trying to hear about no Marcus Yarns as an undrafted free agent, and we really like his upside potential. Nope, nope, nope. One instant impact. We need a running back where people say so-and-so out of the University of Ohio State, people say, oh shit, right? We need a wide receiver when people say so-and-so out of Arizona, people say, oh shit. We don't need a wide receiver out of Chattanooga, right? And we have to dig in the huddle and dig into the crates and find his film to see. No, we don't need no Chattanooga, you know what I'm saying, no running back out of East Tennessee states and all that stuff, bro. Not this draft. Not right now. Because the one thing that has always kept us afloat for the Dallas Cowboys, we can't take that for granted anymore. We really can't. We really can't. The one thing where we could sit back and be lazy and kind of play with free agency and toss in a developmental draft was that we had the clear-cut best quarterback in the division, and Dak will just clean it all up. Them days is gone, bro. Them days is long gone, bro. Now, whether you have Dak over Hurts or Dak over Daniels, I mean, that's your opinion, bro. But let's not act like it's Dak versus Wentz, Dak versus Sam Howell, and Dak versus Daniel Jones. Them days is long gone. So just relying on Dak Prescott to be the difference maker and clean up all your lack of, free agency, lack of drafting and being aggressiveness, like those days are gone, bro. Them days is hella gone. Them days is long gone. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, neither are instant impact in my opinion. Right, wrong? Right. Tyler Guyton was a good prospect, right? But our season was hinged on a right tackle who has never played left tackle. Think about this. Last year, the Kansas City Chiefs drafted Kingsley Samadia, right? Out of BYU. Left tackle. Liked his film, right? Coming out of college. He had 2 games, didn't work. Chiefs said, hey, bro, come sit over here, sit by Andy Reid. We gonna keep this shit moving without you. Look how bad the Chiefs' offensive line played in the Super Bowl. They still didn't put Kingsley out there, bro. They still didn't put him out. They say, listen, bro, kid, you got a lot to learn, especially if you're going to be protecting the blind side of Pat Mahomes. The Chiefs' offensive line was getting dog walked. They said, hey, bro, we still going to go with a vet. We still going to go with a vet, dog, because you're not ready. You know what I'm saying? You are not ready, right? So for us, when Tyler Guyton blew the gasket and wasn't working out, we didn't have no other alternatives, bro. Alternatives, right? So you should want to go into the draft, and this is your insurance policy. You know what I'm saying? It should be your insurance policy. You shouldn't have these gaping holes where you're banking on a 22-year-old kid or 21-year-old kid to hit the ground running against grown-ass men in the NFL, and if it don't work, then our season's going to be unhinged on it. You see what I'm saying? Like, that is a bad situation to put your team in. Salute to my dog Smoke with the super chat. The fact of the matter is, this gets Dak the weapons and O-line like all the other daggone NFL Super Bowl winners in defense that actually can make a stop. I agree. But, it's crazy to me. Like, we a lot of times think that Jerry is joking and just saying things in a roundabout way. And I would say this, he is, right? Sometimes, right, Jerry's just being funny. But when he said that Dak needs to learn how to win more with less shit, I think he meant that. He meant that. He wasn't playing for real. Like he was dead serious about that, about Dak having to do more with less. He wasn't play pimping. Jerry said, nah, bro, you're getting this money. It's like a punishment. Like it's like a punishment, bro. Like, but since your agent fought for you to give you what you actually earn, Now I'm going to take it out on you. Now I'm going to spin the block. Here's my get back. Go out there with Jalen Tolbert and Jonathan Mingo and Jalen Brooks. All right, superstar. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, bro, Luke, it's petty, bro. It's petty as hell. It's petty as hell. You know what I'm saying? Like, instead of doing what's best for your player to win, it's like, all right, bro, you beat me on the contract shit, but I got a trick for your ass. Now let me see you go out there and play without this. Let me see you go out there and play without a running back. Let me see you go out there and play without a left tackle. Let me see you go out there and play with no wide receiver help outside of CeeDee Lamb. You see what I'm saying? Like, that is crazy and petty to do that. That's like if my son playing soccer and I had to pay, let's say, $500 for his soccer league, whatever. I mean, you know what? I paid for your soccer league. Let's see you go out there and play with no cleats. Whatever. Go out there and play with your tennis shoes, bro. You have to learn how to do more with less. Go play with your tennis shoes. You ain't getting no cleats. You have to learn to do more with less. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy, bro. Jerry got that slave master mentality. It irks me that I feel like, for whatever reason, this billion-dollar owners and Jerry and Stephen Jones, they take losing contract negotiations more personal than losing on the football field. You know what I'm saying? They take that more personal than losing on the football field. And I tell people this all the time, and a lot of people don't want to hear me. Tuck, why are you so down and out in the season? It sounds like you're being negative. It sounds like you can't just sell us the Kool-Aid and say we them boys to keep everybody happy. The biggest gut-wrenching thing to me as a Dallas Cowboys fan, content creator, analyst, whatever you guys want to call me, was that we sat back, watched Dan Quinn go to Washington, have a rookie quarterback, take 3 of our players, right, go over there, go to the NFC Championship, a place we haven't been in damn near 30 years, and we watched the Philadelphia Eagles push all their chips in and really go all in. Not only did they go to the Super Bowl, they beat the dog shit out of the undisputed champs in the Kansas City Chiefs, and we're sitting back doing the same old, same old. Like, honestly, y'all, that was the moment where I really decided I'm not supporting this as a season ticket holder anymore, right? It's the way that they handled the whole coaching hire stuff lets me know they don't care, bro. Like, why are we as fans more pissed about what we had to witness last year than the actual owners? It should have been, hey, bro, we just saw Dan Quinn go to the NFC East championship game with the rookie. We just saw the Eagles win a Super Bowl. I don't give a damn what Ben Johnson's asking for. We bringing him in, talk to him. I don't give a damn. Bill Belichick, you trying to go where? North Carolina? Absolutely not, bro. We should have turned every goddamn stone to find a head coach that could get us over the hump. We didn't. Aaron Glenn. We didn't interview Aaron Glenn. You know what I'm saying? Like, Robert Saleh decided to go be defensive coordinator. And, like, we did not flip over every stone trying to find a solution. It was, we were going to bring Mike McCarthy back, but he wanted some extra years. Like, that even matters when it comes to coaching contract. Mike McCarthy says, know what? Deuces, I ain't putting up with this bullshit, right? And then it was, who else can we get in here to coach for the low? Kellen, bring in Kellen. Kellen said, oh, hell no, I'm going to New Orleans. Damn, bro, you're not going to. Y'all think Brian upstairs would do it? I mean, shit, he'll probably be happy to take it. Should go ask him real quick. Hey, Brian, you want to coach for the Cowboys? Yeah, sure, I'll do it. This is an opportunity like. God damn, bro. Like, you should have, after that Super Bowl, and you saw that confetti drop on, and here's the crazy part. You guys know I was at the Super Bowl, right? When I was around those Eagles players, I sensed zero nervousness from any of them. Zero, zilch. Not from Nick Sirianni, not from Jalen Hurts. I mean, Jordan Davis was walking around the media room singing songs. He actually took the microphone so I could, like, the Eagles was comfortable as shit when they got to the Super Bowl. And why was that? Because they know my GM went and laid his nuts down on the desk and got this animal and Saquon Barkley. I'm good. I'm relaxed. Ain't nothing to be nervous about. We went and got Saquon. We got A.J. Brown that we moved and got, right? We got Smitty. We got one of the best offensive lines. You know, Dallas Goedert. Defensive line is solid, full of young dogs out of the NFL draft that we were aggressive to go and get. The sports guys just let Quinyon Mitchell just fall to us from skies. We got Cooper DeJean, right? We are comfortable because we know our organization has locked and loaded us for this. This is nothing to be scared about. And why did that happen? Because the Eagles went to the Super Bowl 2 years prior. They faced that monster in Pat Mahomes and felt like, damn, we really could have had that game. All right, they got Pat Mahomes. I get it, right? They got Travis Kelce. Okay, cool. I get it. All right, let me come back reloaded with some more ammo and some more weapons and see if they can run that back. And they did it. They saw the monster. They got beat, right, in the playoffs last year versus Tampa. Fell off a cliff down the end of the season. They didn't sit and say, okay, well, I think we're good. Let's just go in the draft and get some guys. Hell no. They were turning every stone. They just had Brian Johnson's offensive coordinator, fired his ass and got Kellen that quick. Brought in Vic Fangio. So they were pissed off about losing because they were trying to seize the moment with the window of opportunity that they had when it comes to their quarterback and Jalen Hurts, right? But for us, figure it out, bro. Do more with less. Speaking of trade back, we traded back with the Philadelphia Eagles to get Micah Parsons. They drafted Devontae Smith. Devontae Smith got paid last year. He was in that same draft class. So let's go ahead and pay Devontae and get the shit over with. Let's just pay him now. You see what I'm saying? So I think, y'all, that is what's killing me inside as a Dallas Cowboy fan is that, bro, if I always thought, right, that was my last hope, like, yo, if the Eagles won a Super Bowl, they continue to be dominant, it would force the Dallas Cowboys' hand, and they would have to stop being comfortable and start being more aggressive. They said, Tuck, I wish I would, bro. We're going to the Bahamas, dog. You better take this Kenneth Murray Jr. and Jack Sanborn and deal with it, dog. We good. You want a wide receiver, Tuck? Okay, cool. Here's Paris Campbell. Have at it. Here, take it. You're going to buy it. You're going to watch it anyway. Here, take it, bro. What you going to do? What you going to do? You're sitting here watching the damn Commanders make a trade for Deebo Samuels. You know what I'm saying? Like, the Commanders are moving more aggressive than the Dallas Cowboys, America's team. That shit hurts, y'all. And I don't know how to combat it. The only thing I can hope for is that the Cowboys close their eyes and shit Genty falls. The sports guy says, you know what, Cowboys Nation, y'all been through enough. Let me bless y'all. And Genty gets to Dallas. Thank you, God, right? And then all these people have been watching all these videos and stuff, think Luther Burden is the scum of the earth, and Luther Burden falls to 44. Thank you, God. Thank you. This is what we need. We need a goddamn Christmas miracle going into the draft. We the only popular team that don't try. Lou, bro, it was I said it on Twitter, right? Because you guys know I'm a Mavericks fan. Do you know how crazy it is that the Mavericks or the Lakers have gone from Shaq and Kobe to LeBron to Luka? They went from Shaq and Kobe to Kobe and Powell to LeBron and AD to now LeBron and Luka. That's wild, bro. That is wild that the Lakers have done that through generations. Shaq and Kobe and Powell, LeBron and AD. Now you have LeBron and Luka. The Lakers will do whatever the hell it takes to win a championship. Y'all remember that young nucleus that they had with Brandon Ingram and it was Brandon Ingram. They had Kuzma. They had Lonzo Ball, right? As soon as they got LeBron says, I don't want them young ass kids. Ship their ass to the Pelicans and give me Anthony Davis. The Dallas Cowboys wouldn't have done that. Dallas Cowboys like, oh, we got some young talent. We really believe in Brandon Ingram, and you know that we spent a high draft pick on Lonzo Ball, and you know we want to draft and develop guys. The Lakers said, LeBron, you want these cats up out there? Send their ass to New Orleans and bring us Anthony Davis, Julius Randle. Sent their ass packing. Sent their ass packing for Anthony Davis. The Cowboys would have never been that aggressive. They would have never been that aggressive. Absolutely not. They would have held on. Well, you know, even though we brought in one, they would never got LeBron. But even if they were to get LeBron, we want to just, you know, we really like our guys, LeBron, and you know, we really think you can work together and blah 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 and blah 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 blah. We really believe in Brandon Ingram and blah 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 blah. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. You see what I'm saying? So the champion mindset in Dallas, this might be its own video. The champion mindset that a lot of us, and Luke, you probably see, you lose to the young dog. You know what I'm saying? The champion mindset, the championship DNA that a lot of us older Cowboys fans came up and admiring, that shit is gone. Right? The Jerry and Stephen Jones wouldn't have even be able to fathom how to pull off that Herschel Walker trade today if they tried. They wouldn't even be able to pull it off. They would not be able to pull off the Herschel Walker trade if they tried. The Jerry and Stephen Jones today could not go get Charles Haley today if they tried. Absolutely not. They wouldn't be able to figure. I mean, he has some off the field stuff and some mental issues and I don't know. Is it a good fit? The Dallas Cowboys, Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones today, for damn sure, could not go get Deion Sanders today, even if they tried. They couldn't pull it off. They couldn't. Can you imagine Deion Sanders being brought in as a free agent with Jerry and Stephen Jones today and talking about an offer? You know the disrespect Deion would have probably felt leaving that building. You know how they would have disrespected Deion Sanders today. They couldn't even sign Derrick Henry for $8 million. They couldn't even sign Derrick Henry for $8 million. There is no chance. Cooper Kupp, Dak and CD called Cooper Kupp. Cooper Kupp said, appreciate your dog. Thanks for the phone call. Cooper Kupp has a relationship with our new wide receiver coach in Junior Adams. Dak calls him. CD calls him. I'm sure Junior Adams probably put in the phone call as well. He said, I appreciate y'all calling me, bro. I'm gonna go to Seattle. I'm going over here. You know what I'm saying? But thanks for the phone calls. Best of luck this upcoming season, because they probably gave Cooper Kupp the most disrespectful offer where he was like, oh, hell no. You know what I'm saying? You know, he has all these relationships, bro, and they probably offered him the most disrespectful offer. Cooper Kupp's agent probably said, I ain't even going to bring this up to you, bro, what Dallas has offered you. I ain't even going to mention it to you. I'm going to mention it to you. I ain't even going to mention it to you, bro. Yeah, you talked to Dallas. Yeah, I talked to Dallas. What are they saying? Don't even worry about it, bro. I got Seattle on the phone, and they're going to meet what we're looking for. All right, cool. It's crazy. But see, the problem is when it comes to the Cowboys organization, they think it's everybody just wants to play for the Dallas Cowboys. For what, bro? Y'all not winning shit. Y'all are not winning shit. So why does everybody want to come play for the Dallas Cowboys? Glitz and glitz. You're not winning shit. All you're doing is losing shit on a much bigger scale. You're losing. You're being mediocre. And so in front of millions of viewers, that's not fun. That's not worth a discount. That's not worth a discount. So this whole allure that you get to play for the biggest and brightest, y'all don't do shit like the biggest and brightest. If I'm a free agent, let's say I'm 30 years old, right? And I'm looking for my second contract, all right? And I'm looking to win a championship. I want to win a championship. I have the agents, Kansas City Chiefs calling my agent. I have the Eagles calling my agent. I have the Commanders calling my agent. I have San Francisco calling my agent. And I have the Dallas Cowboys calling my agent. San Francisco, come off Super Bowl 2 years ago. Okay, perfectly fine, right? Then you have Detroit Lions probably calling me my agent, right? They're trying to build something special in Dan Campbell. The Chiefs, Super Bowl, Pat Mahomes. Eagles coming off a Super Bowl. Commanders, young gunners coming off an NFC East championship. And the Dallas Cowboys. You think I'm going to pick to play for Dallas for cheap? For cheap? If I'm going to take a discount, I'm damn sure going to take my discount to Kansas City. I might play for the vet minimum in Kansas City to win a championship. I might play for a vet minimum to go play in Philly. I might take a vet minimum to go play for Dan Quinn and with Jaden Daniels and what they're trying to build, right? I'm not taking a vet minimum to run out the fucking thunderstruck every game and get blasted on primetime television just because it's the Dallas Cowboys. Why would I take a discount for that? You're not winning anything. You're not winning enough to make me want to take a discount, bro. A lot of these players, they never even seen the Dallas Cowboys that we know. They never even seen that. They never even seen it. Never even seen it. Coming out the tunnel with country music and Dolly Parton halftime shows, bro. I'm not taking a discount for that shit, bro. I am not. Jaylon Lewis was not taking a discount for that shit, bro. Jaylon Lewis was one of our, I would say, most productive defensive players last year. He battled back from injury. You drafted him. He's a locker room leader. Jaylon Lewis has done everything you could ask J. Lou to do, and you lost him to the goddamn Jacksonville Jaguars. You lost J. Lou. J. Lou said, I'd rather go play in Jacksonville. The Jacksonville Jaguars, who has been to a championship appearance more recent than the Cowboys, but he said, no, bro, you're not. They gave J. Lou a disrespectful offer, bro, after everything that J. Lou has done for your organization. Battle back from the lens Frank. Last year, he was the only one turned up week 1 all the way to week 17. A leader, a guy that's been here since Dez Bryant. Bro, you drink, and you can't even do right by J. Lou. You can't even do right by J. You freed up all this money. Right? Oh, yeah, you did a restructure on Dak, and you did a restructure on CD, and you did all these restructures. You couldn't even take care of J. Lou. If you can't take care of J. Lou, who's done everything the right way, you make Dak Prescott have to fight tooth and nail. CeeDee Lamb had to hold out and miss camp. Micah Parsons probably going to do this. Why would I want to come to Dallas? Think how they would do me as a free agent coming off the street. And you want me to take a discount deal, bro? You want me to take a discount deal when y'all do Dak Prescott dirt? Dak got signed right as he was running out the tunnel in week 1. CeeDee Lamb, arguably one of the best wide receivers in football, however you want to sprinkle it, had to miss camp to get his money. Micah Parsons is probably going, we haven't even hit the brink of the iceberg when it comes to the games that's coming on with Micah Parsons. Mike McCarthy, 12-5, won you a playoff game on the road versus Tom Brady, some shit you ain't did since the 90s, has won games with multiple injuries, won games with Cooper Rush, won games without linebackers, had your quarterback playing at an MVP caliber level, and you disrespected him. Imagine how you would do me, Jay Tuck, who's coming from Tennessee. Absolutely not. I appreciate your offer, Jerry and Steven, but I'm going to Kansas City, dog. I'm going to Kansas City. Because Pat Mahomes, trust me, y'all. Y'all know I'm here, and I cover the team. Bro, Pat Mahomes is about to spin the fucking block. You know what I'm saying? He is about to spin the block. He's just pissed off for no reason, dog. He's turning up. If I tell y'all to take an easy bet Pat Mahomes MVP, he is about to go crazy. I think I want to take a discount and go play with that. I don't play a discount, come play in Dallas. Y'all ain't got no running backs, bro. Y'all ain't got no wide receiver too, dog. You ain't got no defensive tackles. Your linebacker core is a bunch of special teams guys. I'm not taking a discount for that shit. Just to say I played for the Dallas Cowboys, that stuff is long gone. Because only a certain cluster of people is going to be able to get endorsements and stuff for playing the Cowboys. How many of y'all have seen J. Lou commercials? I ain't seen no J. Lou commercials. How many of y'all have seen some Brock Hoffman commercials? I don't think I've seen a Deron Bland. How many of y'all seen Deron Bland commercials? You see what I'm saying? So, you play for Dallas Cowboys, you're going to get some sponsorships. Only certain people. The quarterback, you're going to get sponsorships. Wide receiver, you're going to get sponsorships. Running back, if you do your job, you'll probably get some sponsorship. Linebackers and maybe corners, right? But not everybody comes to Dallas is going to get this superstar treatment. You think Solomon Thomas's sponsorships are about to drastically increase? Absolutely not, bro. So we have to lose this. It's an ego thing, right? That just playing with us and being in our presence is enough. It's not enough. It's not enough. And this is why you're constantly seeing players around the league say, I'm good. Haven't you seen a lot of Micah commercials? Yeah, if you're being honest. A lot of them, like the CD one is with Dak, right? So CDs in the commercials with Dak. I think it was like what is it? Real Housewives, and they're like jumping the tables. Like, that's with Dak, right? Dak's the quarterback. You'll see Dak everywhere, but you're not going to see, Terrence Steele commercials. Oh, that's a dope commercial from Terrence. You're not going to see any of that. You see what I'm saying? So what people have to understand, what the Cowboys have to understand, bro, you're going to have to change. You're going to have to change. You're going to have to. But for them, y'all, like I said, if seeing the Eagles win a Super Bowl and blow the doors off the Kansas City Chiefs wasn't enough, I ain't got the answer, Sway. I ain't got the answer, Sway. That shit broke me. And I don't even play. I don't own the team. I don't coach the team. But me being in New Orleans, because honestly, bro, it was like, oh my God, a Chiefs fan. Thank God. Like, whoo, thank you, bro. You know what I'm saying? When I tell you the Eagles took over New Orleans, all of Bourbon Street was green. Everywhere you went was green, 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 green. Eagles everywhere. Went to the malls, Eagles fans. You went out to dinner, Eagles fans. It was Eagles fans everywhere. And they weren't nervous. They were confident as hell. That shit broke me to the point where I tell you guys, dead ass, I was supposed to be at the game with Dez, sitting up in the suite, living a life of luxury. And I woke up that morning on Sunday. I was like, I can't do this. I can't do it. I flew home. First flight and get back home. Dez was like, where you at, bro? Like, man, I flew back to Kansas City, dog. I flew back to Kansas City. He's like, you're not coming to the Super Bowl? I'm already back in Kansas City, dog. I cannot sit there at that stadium around all that sea of green and watch them win the Super Bowl and having to walk out and see all of them celebrate and fly Eagles. Nah. But Jerry and Steven could. Jerry and Steven could. They said, all right, cool, bro. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. It's crazy. Me being from the DMV and seeing Washington in the championship game broke me, bro. That hurts, JC, bro. I know that hurts, dog. It hurts. It hurts, bro. And here we are giving our all to this team. JC, angry, Lou, myself, DMV, wrong. List goes on. Doing videos daily. I'm looking and scouting 300 fucking prospects and all sorts of stuff because I really care about this team. And I really know they don't give a fuck, Tuck. They don't care. They don't care. They don't care. They don't care, bro. That hurts. It hurts. You know what I'm saying? You ever been in a bad relationship where you love someone that don't love you back? That shit hurts. It hurts. It hurts knowing that we love a team that doesn't love us back and they really could care less how we feel. Could care less. Could care less. So when people say I'm being negative, it's not about the players. I love Dak Prescott. I love CeeDee Lamb. I love Wanye Thomas. I love Diggs. I love Micah Parsons. Y'all see me bang. I bang for the players all the damn time. Let someone say some shit about one of my players. Hey, it's up. But them people upstairs, I can give two shits about them, bro. I could really care less. I could really care less. Because they are manipulating our fan base. They're selling opioids, but they could care less about winning. This is no knock to Brian Schottenheimer. I think Brian Schottenheimer is a good guy. I would probably love to go to the bar right now and hang out with Brian Schottenheimer. The problem is when it comes to Schottenheimer is not him as the hire, but is how the Cowboys went about the hire. If you really wanted Mike McCarthy back, and I know some people didn't, I wouldn't have minded it, right? If you really wanted Mike McCarthy back, why are you letting the differences of contract terms and the years be the factor of why he didn't get the deal signed? You blocked him from interviewing with Chicago. You had this powwow that you guys had. You're letting the difference between the term deals, and you guys have seen this all across the NFL. You could hire a coach for a 17-year deal and fire them in year one and give two shits about what happens later. There's no salary cap. It doesn't impact the salary cap when it comes to coaching and coaching staff. If you want to give Mike McCarthy a 4-year deal and he wanted 6, you could have still fired him after this season if you wanted to. It had no impact to our free agent acquisition or anything. So you let something that small be the difference of you getting the coach that you wanted. That's ego. That is ego. It's a good book that I love. Ego is the enemy. Ego is the enemy. Ego. You just wanted to do things your way and wanted to have some type of on Mike McCarthy because he won the Zeke shit. You know what I'm saying? You didn't want him to win that. He won the Zeke shit. You know what I'm saying? He won the Kellen shit. So it's like, bro, I'm tired of you winning. And you wanted to get your get back, get your lick back with the terms of the damn contract for a head coach. With the terms of a contract for a head coach. It was, did you think Mike McCarthy was the coach that can help us win? Was the players rallying for Mike McCarthy? They did. They rallied for him and Coach Zimmer. Has Mike McCarthy built some stability through adversity in Dallas that we've never seen in the Jason Garrett era that you gave 10 years, right? He's done all of that. Think about how many games that Mike McCarthy had to coach without his starting quarterback, y'all. He came in the game with Ben DiNucci and Garrett Gilbert. You know what I'm saying? Then he lost Dak again. Was that 21, right? Lost Dak again. Won games with Cooper Rush. Lost Dak again. Won games with Cooper Rush, right? Y'all remember how Jason Garrett used to lose Sean Lee and shit would just fall? Mike McCarthy lose LVE. You know what I'm saying? Didn't really have no linebacker. Still kept shit afloat. He got no credit for that. Zero. Zilch. Nada. And you let the difference between bringing him back was the terms. I would have rather you just fired Mike McCarthy and say he's not the coach of the Dallas Cowboys. We don't believe he can get us over the hump. Give me that. Don't let it be the difference of the terms and because him and Will McClay had a beef over how they were using Brandon Cooks. Brandon Cooks was hurt anyways, bro. He was hurt anyways. So it's like, it's just those things, y'all. So when I talk about the front office, it's those little dumb shits that get in the way of the product on the field. That's the problem in Dallas. People can say it's the players, right? They need to step up, and yes, they do, right? Dak needs to play bigger and bigger moments. CD, the list goes on and on. But the culture, the foundation of this shit, y'all, is so fractured. I don't know. I really don't know. I really don't know how do you fix an owner and a GM. That's a conflict of interest right there in itself. That's a conflict of interest, right? Your owner who writes the checks and your GM who's in charge of that's a conflict of interest. So it's a conflict of interest, right? Owner / GM, right? Let's ego get in the way and he wants to punish you for it. You see what I'm saying? GMs with emotional attachments is disgraceful. 1,000%. 1,000%. 1,000%. 1,000%. Howie's job as a GM is to go and get the best talent to put players on the team. Howie isn't writing the checks too and negotiating the salaries. You know what I'm saying? He's not. Howie didn't go say, hey, we need to go bring in Saquon Barkley and then sit in the room and negotiate Saquon Barkley's contract with Saquon Barkley's agent. He said, listen, right? I forgot, is it Lurie is their owner or whatever, right? Whatever. So listen, we need to strengthen up this running game. We continuously lose to teams like San Francisco. In order to get to a Super Bowl, I believe that we should go acquire Saquon Barkley. All right. I think that's a good idea, Howie. Cool. Howie steps out the way, moves. Then Lurie and Saquon's agent has the conversations. It's not, I think Saquon can be in addition to our team. You want me to call his agent? Bro, you're doing way too much. You're doing way too many fucking jobs. You see what I'm saying? So it's like you have to restore order when it comes to the Cowboys organization, and all these different things because it allows conflict of interest. It allows conflicts of interest, because I got to sign the checks too. I got to find the talent and negotiate the contracts with them. So you're wanting to win the wrong battles. As an owner, a man who signs the checks, you want to win the negotiation game. But as a GM, you just want the best talent on the field. So when you have to write from both hands, yes, I'm a GM and I want the best talent, but I also want to win the contract game. Now you're conflicted. You know what I'm saying? You're conflicted. Like, shit, man, I want Derrick Henry. As a GM, I want Derrick Henry. As an owner, I'm not paying that shit. That's way too much. You're conflicted. That's why you don't have the CEO of your company at work right now. He's not your manager as well. You know what I'm saying? Or she's not your manager as well. You see what I'm saying? You know how conflicted that would be if you had the owner. He's also your manager as well. You see what I'm saying? Like you couldn't, there's barriers, right? Right now at work, if you have a problem with your manager, you can go talk to HR. You know what I'm saying? You can talk to, there's a layer in between. There's layers in between. You can't even get up probably to your CEOs. You work for a big company. You got to talk to like 30 different people. You see what I'm saying? But yeah. Because what can happen is, imagine if your manager, right, was also the owner of the company, he's going to be pissed off at you one day and be like, you know what? Shit, fire him. Ain't no raise for you. You're conflicted because you're trying to save money. You see what I'm saying? So it's these problems, y'all, that are foundationally issues when it comes to Dallas Cowboys. And it sucks, y'all. It sucks. Lurie gives Howie every resource, including cash up front, allowing him to creative and structured deal. Boom. There you go, right? Here's the allowance. Go make it happen. Cool. All right, I got this guy in Zach Bond, free agent, blah, 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 special teams guy. Go get him, right? Hey, I think we should go get, what was it? Bryce Huff, right? Just go make it happen, bro. Lurie wants a winning team. Just go make this shit happen. How is his bet? Let's go bet. You know what I'm saying? Bet. I would love for 1 year for Jerry to say, you know what? We brought you in, Will McClay. Here's an unlimited Blake check, unlimited resources, right? Do what you got to do. Go build me a championship team. Go have at it. Go have at it. And here's the fun part about that, right? Right now in Dallas, right, the same exact city, though there might be some people, when it comes to the Dallas Mavericks, what is every Maverick fan saying right now? We all know, fire Nico. Fire Nico. Fire Nico. There's murals on the wall. There's everything, right? Nobody even knows who the real owners' names are. You know what I'm saying? It is fire Nico chants at the Texas Rangers game, Texas Stars, Little League football games. You fire Nico. And why do you have that? Is because Nico is now responsible for these moves. And that's what kills me about Jerry Jones. As egotistical as you are, imagine if Will McClay was the GM, that Amari Cooper shit was on him. Hey, I'm just the owner. I trust Will to make the decisions. Will decided that you can put that shit on Will. You can hide all them bodies on Will McClay if you would give him the title. You hide all those bodies. I was very interested. I knew that we needed improvement for the running back room, but, spoke to Will, and he said that Zeke gives us a little bit more upside and fits our culture more than Derrick Henry. Put all them fucking bodies on Will McClay. Because he's the GM. That's his job. His job is to go get talent, right? But when it's Jerry, You want to wear both hats. Well, you have to wear the good and the negative when it comes to that responsibility. You see what I'm saying? So, like I said, y'all, overall, when it comes to this draft, it has to hit. It has to hit. And we can't have another development draft. If I hear draft and develop, I'll be sick. I'm going to be sick out there hearing, well, he's a guy, coming off an injury, but, I really like this, what he did, and blah, blah. We already got draft and develop guys. Kyer Elam is a draft and develop technically for us, right? Sadiqa Charles, young, draft and develop. Peyton Turner, draft and develop. A lot of these guys that we already have brought in, we've been having a draft and develop type offseason. Young guys really didn't pan out early in their career, but they're still young and they have some upside potential. Maybe we can mold them and develop them. We already did all the draft and develop shit in the free agency, unfortunately, right? Now it's time for our home run hitters. Now it's time for our instant impact, our guys to go out there and really cause a difference and move the needle back. We have to move the needle back because Lord forbid, y'all, and y'all don't want to hear this, if the Giants do get a quarterback and they do get Shador, we probably need to look out. I'm hoping they botch this pick. I need the Giants to fumble this pick. But I guarantee you guys, if the Giants get Shador, the NFC East is going to get super scary. It's going to get super scary. I know some people aren't high on Shador and blah, blah, blah. I'm extremely high on Shador. The only reason people don't like Shador is because of his last name. Let's keep it a buck, right? If his name was Shador Thomas, he'd probably be one of the top 2 players coming out in this draft, right? But it's just because it's Sanders and right? I get it. But from a player perspective, if the Giants get Shador with Malik Neighbors and turn around and add one of these running backs like a Judkins, it can get ugly. Because we set back when we had the guy who was the best quarterback in the division. We said we cool. We sat back and said we're cool. That time where you had the Sam Howells and the young Jalen Hurts and Daniel Jones, that was our window of opportunity to really load shit up and go after it. When we had the top dog. You know what I'm saying? Oh, when Dak ran the East, right? And it's like, oh, well, look at Dak's record. Bro, that shit is gone. That shit's gone. When you had Dak versus Danny DeVito, right? Sam Howell and those types of people and Carson Wentz and shit, that's when we should have really loaded all the clips. We should have loaded the clip right then and there. We could have looked around. Bro, there's nobody. There's really nobody in the NFC. I mean, think about it. He probably had Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay at the time. Stafford, Rams. There was nobody in the way. All the other quarterbacks were in the AFC. And you had this wide open lane to just go and just dunk that shit. And they tried to be cute. They tried to Kyrie the shit. You know what I'm saying? And finger roll. Bro, you could just win, just dunk that shit, bro. The lane was wide open. Now, you got Jordan Love. You got Jared Goff. I mean, Purdy's a problem still. You got Jalen Hurts, MVP / the Super Bowl. You got Jaden Daniels. The window's closed. The window of you got Baker Mayfield, who's playing well in Tampa. You even got Sam Darnold, who just shook out his shit and is playing well. Now he has Cooper Kupp because you couldn't afford him. So it's like, bro, the window is closed now. Now the paint is clogged up. When you had this wide open lane to go in there and just dunk it, you didn't. You try to be cute. Try to go around the back and do the old NBA street layup. You know what I'm saying? But you could just went to the lane, dunked it, and bang. So now we're in this situation, man. So So that's it, man. We're gonna continue to kind of go live. Like I said, we're gonna do improv on the phone because my computer's messed up. Hopefully, we get back by Thursday and get back to work, man. But before I go, man, I want to send huge prayers to Kyron Lacy and his family, and also the victim that was involved. And this is what I hate about the internet. You know what I'm saying? I was gonna say this on Twitter, but y'all know how I feel about Twitter, man. It's just like we have lost touch with humanity, right? We have lost decency as a society where there's always has to be some argumentative trolling ass bullshit, right? And I saw people yesterday and I just felt sick. And these are like people who I used to kind of respect, right? They're kind of in the Cowboys community. But it was like, how hard is it to say this young man was feeling hopeless, had everything in front of him, he lost it, making a bad decision, felt hopeless, and took his life. Instead of saying, hey, my heart goes out to both families, it's a sad situation overall, it's, well, he was a murderer. He was this, he was that, he was this, who was that. People have lost their fucking dignity, y'all. This is a child. This is a child, y'all. This is a child. This is a child who made a bad mistake, but even with that, felt like ending my life was the only option. And instead of consulting the family, the friends, prayers, whatever, it's my moment on social media to get my bullshit take off, to make sure that you really know who this kid really is. Fake people behind these fucking avatars, right, want to sit back and judge as they hide behind their mask. This shit's cowardly to me, man. It's real cowardly to me, you know what I'm saying? And it really puts things in perspective. You know, we sit here and we do a lot. You know what I'm saying? Like, we do a lot, right? We put in work, but we also spend a lot of time on these apps. You know, you guys know I spend a lot of time on these apps. And I realize there are some people who care about you, bro, but there's a lot of people who give two shits about you. Let's say something, Lord forbid, was to happen to me, right? You guys would probably be rest in peace, Tuck. This is unfortunate, this, that, thinking about my family, person, my family, my kids, all. There will be people who are fucking cowards to be like, he got what he deserved. Couldn't stand him. He has me blocked. He was arrogant. Blah, blah, blah. I never liked him in the first place. He thought he knew everything, right? It's so crazy to me that a life was lost and all people can think about is their fucking opportunity to get their tweets off, to tell you about who this kid was. I didn't know Kyron Lacy personally, but I've known some of my friends that he's done stuff for, and he was a genuine kid. Let's keep it a buck. Honestly, if he didn't have the off the field stuff, he would probably be in one of my conversations as a draft pick for the Dallas Cowboys earlier too. You know what I'm saying? So he's a phenomenal talent. The kid made a fucking mistake. We all did. We've all did. We've all did. The only thing about it is that we just didn't get caught, or we just didn't have a tragic event to change the course of our lives. Not going to say I never hopped behind the wheel after having more than I should have. We've all kind of done stupid shit, right? But you're going to sit here and judge this kid while his family's going through pain, friends going through pain, because you want to get your tweets off. It's crazy, man. And, you know, it just shows where our society is. It's all about trolling. Right? Trolling. You know, it's all about getting my takes off behind a fake Abby, blah, 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 right? We live in a very cowardly society. Will that ever change? No, it's going to get worse, right? Because the generation behind us is going to, that's all these kids know, is getting behind fake avatars, trolling, ha, 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 key. Like, they don't know how to deal with real shit, right? So that's why I say depression is magnified in our society today, because so many people don't know how to deal with real life shit because they spend a bulk of their time being fake, you know? They're hiding around, trolling. Then when life punches them in the mouth, they can't handle it anymore. You see what I'm saying? So, going from someone who I've lost a teammate to suicide, rest in peace to Phil. Now his situation was different, but Phil was a guy when I came to college as a freshman. Our coach at Emporia State said, Tuck, this is your mentor. He was a junior at the time. And so we done everything together. Like he played DN, I played DN. So every film session, I was with Phil, right? Weights, I was with Phil. Practice, drills, I was with Phil. Like me and Phil, he used to call me his little brother, right? Phil used to, wear Nautica. He was always Nautica and polo to head to toe. So I wanted to have polo and Nautica head to toe like Phil. You know what I'm saying? He had the sack record in the conference. So the whole thing's like, little bro, I'm gonna get you right to break our sack record. You see what I'm saying? Like, I want, like, you don't let nobody else break my record. If it's gonna be you, bro, it has to be you. If someone's gonna break it. So like we used to have these conversations, even after we graduated and talked. You know what I'm saying? And I would say this. I will always give you guys this recommendation is to don't go off of social media, right? Pick up the phone, your actual phone device, call people and hear their voice, right? Call people and hear their voice. Don't go off of social media. Don't go off of Instagram or Facebook. And the reason why I'm saying that is because I remember I was going to invite Phil over to the house, right? And I was gonna tell him I'm gonna grill out and bring Phil over, bring the kids over, boom, 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 right, cool. And I looked on Facebook and he and his wife and his family were in Mexico. You know what I'm saying? So they're in Mexico, they're chilling, you know what I'm saying? Okay, cool. You know what I'm saying? I'll hit him up later, right? And then a month went by. But I'm just figuring out life's good with Phil, you know what I'm saying? He's kind of busy, he's working, right? So I didn't hit him up, you know what I'm saying? I can hit him up later. Completely forgot about I was gonna have him over to the house. Then I got the news, because everything looked good, that he committed suicide. Now, full transparency, not only did he commit suicide, he also took his wife's life as well, right? But I looked on Facebook, everything looked good. They were in Mexico. He and his wife were together. The kids were together, out there running in the, you know what I'm saying, everything, right? So I thought life was good. Well, come to find out, he and his wife were about to get a divorce. He took his wife and the family to Mexico. Hopefully that can save his family. Right? So it looked good on social media. It looked good. Cool. You know what I'm saying? Wife's good. Came home. Good for a few days. Wife decided she still wanted to leave him, and she was taking the kids. Phil lost it, took his life, took her life in front of the kids. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I always encourage people, call people, get them on the phones. I get it, digital age, we're busy, we're moving, we got shit going on, we got families. At least make one day, and I used to do so on my Facebook, and I might just bring it back to y'all. What we're gonna do, and I used to do this all the time, and I still do it to this day. Every Friday, you're done with work, right? You're driving home, whether that's in commute or whatever. On your ride back from work or back home from work, just call somebody you haven't spoken to in a long time. Not on Facebook, right? It might be an old teammate, right? It might be an old teammate you played with back in college. You still got their phone number. Just call them and say, what's going on, bro? Shit, what's going on with you? Nah, shit, bro. Just got off the job. Just want to see how you doing, bro. How's the wife doing? Boom, boom, boom. Oh, I'm good, bro. How's your mama doing, man? Good. Are you still living in Houston? That's what's up, bro. No, I haven't been in Houston in a minute. I need to get back down that way. Oh, say, you in Kansas City? Yeah, I'm in Kansas. Just do that. 5 minutes, 10 minutes top. Make that a priority just to call somebody. Don't say, I saw them on Facebook, they're good. Don't say that. Don't say I saw them on Facebook. Those photos can be fake. It got me. If I would have did what I wanted to do a week after Phil got back from Mexico, maybe he could have talked all his problems out with me, and I could have prevented and saved 2 lives. That shit's hard to deal with, y'all. I was literally going to invite him to my house, invite the family over, grill out. Saul was in Mexico. They got back, put it on the back burner. Life got busy, whatever. And the result was the result. What if when he got back from, like, yo, bro, I was going to call you last week, but shit, what y'all doing this weekend? Y'all should come over. I'm going to grill out, got some steaks, boom, 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 boom. He could have said, man, Tuck, I don't think it's going to work. We're going through a divorce right now. It's really tough. And I could have maybe talked him through it. This was a guy who was like my role model. Everything I wanted to do, who's been at my house for Thanksgiving and been around my mom and everything. And everybody loved Phil. Like, when you saw Phil, bro, like, he was just a ray of positivity. It was the most positive dude I've ever met in my life. He didn't lift weights for shit, but it's like, bro, like, Phil was the most cool. I would have never successful, multi-businesses, millionaire, money, like, it was all there. If I would have just called him when he got back from Mexico, he'd probably say, man, Tuck, I'm going through some real shit right now, bro. I don't know how I'm going to deal with this. Maybe I could have talked him out of it. And maybe him and Lindsay would still be alive. But now it's a ripple effect because not only did he took his life, he took his wife's life, and then he took their lives in front of the children. Like, he bugged the fuck out, you know? And it's like, that's a ripple. Those kids are never going to be right seeing that, you know? And so, like I said, y'all, it's unfortunate. Yeah, mental health matters, y'all. You know, it always gets better. You know, me personally, have I ever been to therapy? No. But I have a good group of friends, it's like 3 of us, right? 3 or 4 of us that I grew up with, and we talk about everything. We talk about everything, and the key is to have a group of men or women who isn't judgmental. See what I'm saying? Now, of course, we'll have some back and forth conversations, kind of push back, but it's like, I know when I'm hurting, I can go through some shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have my best friend, John. Salute to John, bro. It's my best friend. We've been friends since we were 3rd grade. So the year that Micah was drafted, in that draft, right? I remember the day of the draft, right? I had to get screened for cancer, right? I had to get screened for cancer. They thought they found cancer in my body, right? So I had to go get a scan and everything. And of course, you know, I'm trying to be tough for my kids and my wife and everything. I'm good. And I remember getting outside the doctor's office, and I called my friend John, and I just cried. I cried for like 25 minutes, and he was like, Tuck, just get it out, bro. I know you're scared, but God got you. Like, I was scared, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was scared. They talking about all these cancers in my body, and I'm just like, how am I, you know what I'm saying? What am I going to do? I'm thinking about my babies and who's going to take care of my wife and all sorts of shit. And he just like, yo, Tuck, get that shit out, bro. He's like, get that shit out. He's like, I want you to cry. He's my best friend, best man at my wedding. I want you to cry that shit all out. And I promise you, bro, no matter what the diagnosis is, when you get out, you're going to do what you do, and you're going to fight back, and you're going to beat that shit. Now, God willing, thank heavens, it was nothing, right? You know what I'm saying? It's like a little tumor thing they found. But, you know, I got the chance to be vulnerable. I didn't have someone be like, oh, this nigga was crying because he was afraid of... It wasn't like that, bro. He was just... So it's like, as men, as women, as humans, right? It's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to be scared. It's okay to be afraid sometimes, and get it out. Get it out. Once you get it out, you feel a whole lot better, right? Whether that's relationship problems or money problem, whatever you're going through, just get that shit out to somebody. Because if you let that build out and become demons, it'll eat you alive. It will eat you alive. It will eat at you, and eat at you, and eat at you. Even on days you try to move past it, those demon voices get loud, bro. And I'm sure when it comes to Kyron Lacy, there was days where Kyron Lacy felt, I'm good, right? Remember, he had the LSU Pro Day, and the New Orleans Saints posted his clip on Twitter. You see what I'm saying? So I'm sure there was days that he felt good. Man, I had my pro day. You know, I went out there, I was around playing football. LSU, the Saints just looked at your boy. Like, okay, I'm going through some shit right now, but I'm in battle. But those demons, it probably kept getting to him. So that's why I always tell people, man, just get it out. One way I used to get it out was music. I don't make music anymore. Another way I get out, I encourage everybody, men, female, whatever, get a journal. Get a journal and just write. Every day I get in my journal and just write. It might be some shit that I shouldn't say out publicly. I'll write it in here. You know what I'm saying? And the one thing I like about having my journal is if something was to happen to me, my kids will always have this to kind of read my thoughts and everything, right? Get it out. Get it out. Don't keep that shit in, y'all, because it'll wear you down. And I've seen it happen to numerous people. Get it out some way, whether musically, physically, go to the gym. Like sometimes, like you guys know, I do boxing training. Sometimes I'm having a bad day or some shit's kind of going on in my life and I'm frustrated. I will go to the gym and just punch the bag until my arms are sore. You see what I'm saying? It's just getting it out. Don't keep those things bottled in. Don't keep those frustrations bottled in. Don't keep your fears bottled in. Life is hard, y'all. Life is hard. It's never easy. We all go through different things, different stages. My dog DMV did it this morning. He went live and, talked about the passing of his uncle. And he said, I'm about to go live and do this. I told him, do it. He's like, man, I'm not sure. I'm like, bro, do it. Right? Mark Holmes lost his father, went live. Get it out. Get it out. Somebody, right? Don't worry about what's going to come back to you. Don't worry about what people are going to think. Don't worry about any of that. It's about focusing on getting it out of you and not letting these things eat you internally. I've been there. I've been there before. Not saying I never contemplated suicide, but there was a time in my life where I was doing shit and I was like, whatever happened, happened. So, pretty much it's like suicide. You know what I'm saying? When you're out there running around the streets and shit, you're just like, fuck it, if I die tonight, I die tonight. But you know what I'm saying? It's pretty much the same thing. But it's like I was going through hurt and I just didn't know how to get it out. I was getting out my music, but of course it wasn't, the same, because you had this image. Like you know what I'm saying? You're going through these different things and, it's just life can wear you down, y'all. And it's always important to control what you're around, control what you're around, control what you consume, If you watch a bunch of negative stuff, it's going to be negative. You see what I'm saying? Like, that is how Pooh Bear said, I wish my brother understood this. Yeah, man, it's just, a lot of people don't, right? Because like me personally, I never watch the news. Like I never watch the news, which is crazy because I'm always on social media. But like, I don't watch the news because it's never nothing positive, right? And if it's a bunch of stuff feeding me negativity, eventually I'm going to buy into it, And it's just like, yeah, bro, like life is precious. No matter what you're going through, it gets better. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're all sports fans. We didn't see Tom Brady down, and he battled back and come back. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's all you need is that one thing to pop it. You know what I'm saying? To get back on track. When my life was unraveling, and I couldn't just grab something good to just like get me back on track. Weirdly, surprisingly, I don't say weirdly, but it was just church. And I never thought that was going to be the thing going. So I was spiraling downhill, right? And all of a sudden, bang, I grabbed on to church, right? And when I grabbed on to church, it was like, okay, cool. This is my little safety now. It was still, I still had those demons, but it's like I started seeing things, right? I started seeing deacons at my church who had beautiful wives and beautiful families and beautiful homes, and they were working corporate jobs, and they were graduating degree. It's just like, well, I thought the only way to make money out the hood was to sell drugs or rap or be an athlete. But I'm seeing this dude, he's a CEO at, a top sales rep at Sprint. And he got a Benz. And his wife is gorgeous. And his kids are healthy. And he lives on a golf course. He ain't selling no drugs. He ain't athletic. And then you meet Deacon so-and-so. So then I started just being around the men at the church. And that's when like, yo, pull your pants up, son. Taught me how to wear a tie, put on a suit a different way to make me feel good. The deacon at the church used to gave me a suit to put on and taught me how to tie a tie. And he gave me $50 and said, I want you to go to this restaurant on the plaza, right? And it was just me by myself. I went to a restaurant. One of my favorite restaurants was Houston at the time on the plaza, right? Had on my suit, had on my tie, you know what I'm saying, that he gave me. Nice little watch. And I went down to the plaza and I remember being by myself and asking for a table just for me. And the way that people were talking to me, the way that people were interacting with me was completely different. Completely different than how I used to go in there, white tee, pants sagging, you know what I'm saying, smelling like, you know what I'm saying, whatever. It was completely different. So once I got that experience and talked to him, he was like, that's how a man's supposed to feel. That man presence. You see what I'm saying? And then from that time on, it was just like, all right, I started putting the foolish shit aside. You know what I'm saying? It's cool to be a civilian. It's cool to be a hardworking man or a woman that's providing for their family. Like a lot of people want to act like you got to be doing the most and be in the club and popping balls and all. You don't have to do that. I live the most simplistic, washed, boring life. And I live a life that a lot of people dream of. I don't do shit. You know what I'm saying? I come down here, I trade in the market pretty much from 8:30 to 10:30, right? So I invest my money. I go live, talk to y'all. You know what I'm saying? I wake up at 4 a.m., work out, take care of my family. That's it. It's boring as hell, but it works for me. And a lot of people would dream to live the life that I live. Tuck, how do you go to Dubai and the Maldives and, you know, Japan and all sorts of stuff? Because I don't spend my money on bullshit and I invest smartly with my money. All the money I get from YouTube, all the money I get from content, I don't spend it. I just reinvest it and make more money. You see what I'm saying? So, but people will tell you that's boring. It's not gangster. It's not exciting. You know, I can sleep at night, kids taken care of, wife's taken care of. I ain't gotta look over my shoulder anytime I'm going out because I'm wearing the wrong colors and shit. Like, civilian life is good. Having a backyard where my son can go out there and have soccer practice in my backyard. I'm good. I don't need to be street. I don't need to be in the club. You know what I'm saying? The most gangster thing you can do is take care of your family. Facts, bro. Facts. You know, but I still have friends who they're 40 and they're still living that street shit, bro. You're 40 with a blue rag hanging out your back pocket, dog. There's more to life than that. I just got on to one of my friends about that the other day. He got pissed off at me. But we had this hard conversation, bro. Like, I'm trying to explain, like, yo, now's the time to invest and get into the market because it was a pullback. And then he's like, man, nobody want to hear that white boy shit. Then he was talking about some shit he did at the strip club. I don't know, man, don't nobody want to hear that broke shit. That's what I told him, like, bro, I don't want to hear that broke shit. That's broke shit, bro. That's broke shit. You got a poverty mentality. You're 41, about to turn 42 in September. You have a poverty mentality. And if you have a poverty mentality, I don't want you around me because your shit might leak onto me. So if you think me talking about investments in real estate properties with some of the other people in the group chat about how we can scale up and get more properties and shit, and that's boring to you, then maybe you want to leave the fucking group chat right now. Because your poverty shit you're talking about, strip clubs, bro, strip clubs, you're 41 years old. These chicks are talking to you because they think you have money. I guarantee you, if your broke ass walk in the strip club and I walk in the strip club, it's going to be completely different type of, you know what I'm saying? But who cares about that, bro? I'm happily married with a beautiful wife who has 2 degrees and about to get her doctorate. Real shit going on. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, yeah, bro, like we are in an optimal time where with the click of a button, if you want to learn how to invest in real estate, you can come on, log on right now, invest in real estate. If you want to learn how to invest into the market, you can invest in the market, right? So there's opportunity. This is a time like no other. Take advantage of it. Take advantage of it. And no matter what you guys are going through in life, I want you to know you can overcome it. You can overcome it. A lot of people would not have told you guys 10 years ago that Jay Tuck would be on a live stream talking to 1,000 people and doing all this stuff. They thought I was going to be dead here in jail. I literally had a middle school teacher told me I was going to be dead in jail. And you know what I did? I added him on Facebook just so he can see your boy Sean, because I'm petty as fuck. But I remember him in telling a seventh grader that he was going to be dead or in jail. You know what I'm saying? Now, he got close, you know what I'm saying? Because I was doing some dumb stuff. But, yeah, I had him on Facebook like 10 years ago. I'm like, nah, bro. You don't see all this shit. You don't see every last picture I post. You know what I'm saying? Because your analysis was off, you know? So, yeah, it's just like, yeah, whatever you guys are going through, it's not the end. It's not the end. It's just a bump in the road. It's not a bump. It's just a bump in the road, y'all. You can get over it. You can get over it. Now, it's not easy. It's not easy. It's going to be some painful days. It's going to be good days, but it's channeling your energy. Channeling your energy to something that makes you happy, right? So for me, it's doing content. So sometimes I'm having a bad day, I'll just go live and talk to y'all and I forgot whatever I was mad at. And people were bitching and complaining and attacking me online. I'll just go live here and talk to people who love the content that I do. Hour, 2 hours go by, I don't remember what so-and-so's even talking about on Twitter now. Who cares? You know? Do what you love, channel your energy, y'all, and keep your spirits high. Yeah, teacher said I'll be dead or in jail. And yeah, dead. He said that. Coach Franklin. He's on my Facebook right now. I'm on Facebook right now. I added him. Y'all know how petty I am. You don't see all this shit. And what do you be in the comments? Oh, man, congrats, man. That's awesome. Oh, I see your Cowboys. Bro, don't talk to me, dog. Oh, no. I added you as friends, but we're not friends. I just wanted you to see this shit. You know what I'm saying? That's, you know what I'm saying? So you can honestly stop commenting on my Facebook post, bro, because I'm not acknowledging you. I just wanted you to see this shit. That's all I wanted you to do. We're not friends or anything like that, bro. You just gonna see this shit in 4K, right? But yeah, bro, it's yeah, I did add him. You know, like, I know me, I'm petty as hell. Like, I wanted him to see that shit. You know what I'm saying? I do all that shit. Like, I'm all the girls who said I wasn't gonna do shit, we're Facebook friends. You know, I had a girl who, before I met my wife, she dumped me because she hated that I changed from being hood tuck to corporate tuck, right? She thought I was selling out, you know. So she dumped me because she wanted the hood. Okay, cool. Here's a picture of me and my wife in Dubai with my corporate ass. Here's a picture of me and my wife at a villa in the Maldives with my corporate sellout ass. You know what I'm saying? Few weeks, gonna be me and my wife at Cabo, me and my wife at Disney, me and my kids at Universal. You know what I'm saying? Here I am at the Dallas Cowboys game with my sellout corporate ass. And you on boyfriend number 7 because you hated that I started wearing suits and I sold out and got corporate. You know what I mean? But it lets me know her mentality was never going to be able to match where I was headed. Now, where I was back then, right? We matched, right? Because I was doing hood shit and she was doing, but she wasn't prepared for the change and evolution. Because what happens is people that know you at your low points, they don't want you to grow because that's a reflection on them. You see what I'm saying? So there's a lot of friends who I had is like, oh, I like Tuck when he used to hit the club with us. Like case in point, right now, I'm not drinking. I haven't had a drink since the Super Bowl, actually. So I haven't had a drink since the Super Bowl, right? And that was like 3 days prior. We were out for this, right? Haven't had a drink since then, right? Cool. So this is what, April? So about 3 months, right? So when me and my friends would go out to like March Madness and watch the games, and they're ordering drinks and shots and beers and shit, and I'm like, nah, I'm cool. I'm just have a water. I'll drink like a Shirley Temple, which is my drink. I like Shirley Temples. You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, you don't drink no more? But you're too good. Oh, you know, because they're like, bro, Tuck is doing all this fantastic shit right now, and now he's not even drinking. So what connection do I have with them? You know what I'm saying? They lose that connection. They want you down here. They want low vibration people. I'm not saying if you drink, you're a bad person, but if someone's your real friend, like my friend John, who I cried to, fuck it, bro, don't drink. Good. That's good for you and your family. Because I know when Tuck is locked in on something, what he can accomplish. He's like, man, fuck it. Don't drink, bro. He's encouraging me to be better. He's pushing me to be better. Not saying, damn, you can't even have a drink with your boy no more. You can have a shot. We didn't been having shots with each other since we were 16. You know what I'm saying? We're not missing out on nothing. So if they're your real friends, they'll encourage you to be better. They encourage you to be at home with your wife. They're encouraging you to take care of your kids. They're encouraging you to get your finances right. They're encouraging you to invest in new businesses. They encourage you to do things that makes you happy if they're your real friends. Don't be like, dog, you changed. I used to like you better when you used to drink. Oh, I used to like you better when you used to hit the club. Of course, because you were benefiting off the shit that I was doing. You know what I'm saying? Now, you can no longer use my name to get in the club. You got to use your name to get into the club. See what I'm saying? So don't let people deteriorate you guys, man. You know, if you need to talk to people, get it out. You know, if you guys ever have any problems or not, just talk to me, bro. You guys know where I'm at. I'm not hard to find. Hit me on Twitter. Hit me wherever. You see what I'm saying? I'm always here to listen. Do I have all the answers? No, but I have been through a lot of stuff. And I do have people who hit me up time to time, you know, wanting to talk, but it's just like, yeah, great Birdie Mac. Yeah, Vax, bro. But yeah, you guys just leave an ear, let's talk to you, bro. Need an ear to talk to, just get it out. I'm here for y'all. But, you know, never keep those emotions, keep those demons bottled in because they'll eat you up inside. And don't let negative people stop you from your blessings, y'all. That's the one thing I want to share with you guys before I get up out of here. Don't let it happen, all right? Don't let it happen because what's going to happen is if something happens to you like Kyron Lacy, right? Everyone is R.I.P. Kyron Lacy and Kyron Lacy, bro. But how many people actually checked in on Kyron Lacy when he was going through it? You see what I'm saying? Check on him when they're going through it. People go through stuff daily. Now, we can sit here and argue on the Cowboys who doesn't give a shit about us at all. We have time to check in on our cousin to see what they've been up to. You see what I'm saying? We have time to check in on our high school teammate to see what they've been up to real quick. You know what I'm saying? If I can argue back and forth with a dog Avi who has 100 followers and back and forth and Dak sucks and this and that and this and that and this and that and this and that, I can take 5 minutes to call my college teammate like, yo, what's up with you, bro? You know what I'm saying? You good? Just want to see you straight, you know? And once you guys do that, you're going to realize how much real relationships make you feel. It makes you feel different, right? It makes you feel different. Nah, bro, like to call your teammates and talk about old college stories and, you know, this and that, it gives you a different fulfillment than arguing with people on social media or just talking in the comments and on Twitter or some shit. You see what I'm saying? So get back to real relationships, getting back outside, handshakes. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I tell you guys, that's what I love the most about the Cowboys content stuff. It's like, this stuff is fun, right? The live shows, that's fun. But when I'm out there, like I can't wait to the moment I get to meet Angry and be like, yo, what's good? My dog Angry, what's good with you, bro? Handshakes. Yo, Lou, what's up with you, bro? How you been, dog? Damn, you are big as fuck, bro. You know what I'm saying? Oh, my dog JC, what's going on? Like that shit, that's what it's all about. That's what it's really about. All the Twitter followers and YouTube subscribers and the ad revenue, that shit is cool. But that creates solid, bro. Why do we have Cover 3? It's not because DMV does content or Rome does content. It's because when we did this, it was solid. I felt at home with my brothers. When I sat there and met DMV and Rome for the first time, I knew it was genuine. You know what I'm saying? I met DMV before I met Rome. I met DMV at the draft in Vegas. And here's how solid I was. There was like me and like 8 other content creators out there for the draft in Vegas. And I said, shit, day 2, I'm going to buy a cabana at this beach club at the Wynn. And I want all the content creators just to pull up. Y'all don't have to pay me a dime or anything, bro. Just pull up. You know what I'm saying? Come out with your boy. I got bottle service. I had the whole 9. And the content creators that were in Vegas all pulled up. It was solid. And me and DMV was just solid since then. I don't even think me and DMV had done shows together before that. We might have did like 1 or 2 indirectly. But the moment that I shook DMV's hand, it was different. I felt the love. Boss, Law, Botch, Sky. You know what I'm saying? Like West Coast. You know what I'm saying? That's what it's all about. Building true relationships. So guys, get back outside, meet people, go to places where people are at. You know what I'm saying? We get in this little bubble a lot of times. Go meet people, build friendships. You know, I'm bad at that because I do everything from home. I work out at home. I work from home. Do content from home. I don't even go to the grocery store no more. My groceries just got delivered to me. So it's like, nah, Tuck, you need to actually get out, meet people, you know, and you realize the world isn't as bad as the Twitter or social media world makes it seem, man. So it's your boy J Tuck. Comment, like, subscribe. Like I said, I'm trying to drop these film sessions, y'all. But my internet right now is down. I don't know what the hell's going on. So, you know, I try to do Walter Nolan. I'm also going to do the film on Kendall Paul because I want you guys to see the film. Because I know you guys seen the interviews, you kind of heard everything, but I want you guys to see the film. Tony Horton was the P90X guy. And then some other players as we gear up for next week. And then, like you guys know, next Wednesday, I will be in Green Bay live at the NFL draft. So, you know, we're going to turn up the coverage a notch once I get up out there. So, yeah, appreciate you guys, man. Comment, like, subscribe, share the content, turn on your notification bell so you do not miss out. I want everyone to stay safe, stay blessed, stay encouraged, and go get Dak Prescott some freaking weapons, please. Peace.